Lowe again. With us today are two of the performers in the musical spoof, Ruthless, currently slaying audiences at the Cannon Theater in Beverly Hills. Please join us in welcoming 8-year-old Lindsay Ridgway and a slightly older Lorin Freeman. And now, here's your man of the half hour, Skippy Lowe.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio, making a picture again. You don't know how much I've missed all of you. And I promise you I'll never desert you again. Because after Salome, we'll make another picture and another picture. You see, this is my life. It always will be. There's nothing else. Just us. And the cameras. And those wonderful people out there in the dark. All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Yeah.
Doing Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh, I think of you from Ruthless. Oh, incredible. You're
There's
doing
nobody better than she was in that movie. I can't wait to see the show, but...
I didn't know you were in the play, Ruthless, until I sat there. I thought it was a real lady coming
You
out.
did?
I did, absolutely.
A real big lady.
Tallulah Bankhead-ish type. I saw you in Melanie Jones. You were absolutely different.
I loved doing that show.
That's Ron Link.
Ron
directed.
Link's show, yeah.
Where are you from originally? San Francisco?
Yeah.
Studied there?
ACT, yeah.
One of the best.
And I grew up there.
A comic, though. You did comedy.
Well, I do comedy roles. I don't do so much stand-up comedy. I tried it. I've tried everything a couple times.
You mean you tried at the Comedy Store, the improv and stuff like that?
Yeah, but I was doing a fictional kind of a thing. I was Casper Coffey, Hollywood's foremost party goer.
Right.
And I mean, it was fun, you know. I wore a tuxedo and I did gossip. But then, you know, I did it, and then I did La Cage aux Folles, and that's where I really learned to play an audience.
Right.
And as an actor...
When were you at La Cage? On La Cienega?
1990, 1989,
Really?
1990. You came in one night.
Gypsy wasn't there at the time?
No, Gypsy was away working, and I did it for 6 months, and then for the next 6 months, we shared the bell. But, you know, I'm an actor, and when you have to get out there and talk to the audience and do that repartee, you know, you have to learn fast.
Right.
So that was a great experience, but I got to tell you, it was also the weirdest job I ever had, because you're working around people who are portraying dead movie stars 6 nights a week, and something happens to you in here.
But Lorin, you were speaking. The others were doing mime.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't knock them lip-syncing to records, but...
But years ago, when they had La Cage aux Folles in clubs, they had speaking, dramatic singing. They did it live.
See, the drag thing is getting weird now. I think there's a difference between sex shows and show business shows.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
That's why I like doing fictional characters, like in Ruthless, where I'm playing a real person, and there's no drag humor or, you know, where do I tuck it kind of stuff. It's just a person.
You are playing Lorin Freeman out there, actually, as a
well, I'm playing Sylvia St.
Sylvia, sorry, but you know what I mean. The attitude is there.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know. If
I watched Gloria Swanson in that movie, and I also watched Rosalind Russell, because she has that bubbly, happy quality. Right. And as Sylvia, I'm also the narrator, you know, and I talk to the audience and welcome them and.
You seem like you're enjoying having fun.
Love it. I've never had so much fun. Part of it is due to the tremendous production value. Bob costumes. My God, you know. Usually the costume people say, do you have anything you can wear? You know? But we went into Bob Mackie, and I mean, everything, and he's taking measurements that I never even heard of before. And Joan Stein is just the first class.
She's the producer.
First class. Right. You know? She doesn't grouse about spending the money.
And Marvin...
Marvin Laird.
Laird. Wrote it?
Brilliant, yeah.
Great.
Joel Paley wrote Ruthless and directed it. So what you see up there is his vision.
I see. But Marvin did things for Anne Margaret.
Yeah.
Didn't he write for, played for Anne Margaret?
He just played for Jesse Norman at the White
Liza
House.
Minnelli?
Yeah. He also did a lot of Hollywood stuff. He did all the underscoring for, what was that Joan Collins show?
The one she did.
80-something.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
No, you know what
I know.
You know that.
You're having fun. You seem like you're having fun doing Ruthless. And there's a wonderful little talented girl. It's all about a little girl who is with this pushy mother. The story is absolutely wonderful, I hear.
Well, you know the movie The Bad Seed.
Right.
It's a spoof on The Bad Seed.
Ah.
And yes, we do have a little girl.
And Baby Jane.
A little bit of Baby Jane, a little bit of
Baby June.
Gypsy.
Baby June.
A little bit of Auntie Mame.
That's who you remind me of doing, Sylvia. Auntie Mame, very much.
See, that was my #1 inspiration. I love Rosalind Russell.
Right.
I think she's underrated these days. You know, I think if you asked college kids who's Rosalind Russell, they might not know. They might know who Betty Davis is.
Do you think she has a star in Hollywood Boulevard? Now,
I don't know. Does she?
No, she does
doesn't?
not. Paul Newman, just getting one now with Mamie Van Doren next month in February. People like that. The Beatles are getting, Paul McCarthy's getting one again now.
Yeah.
See, what's happening with Hollywood, I don't know.
I don't know. There's a lot of screwy stars out there.
Are getting stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a star on your show. I love her. She's 8 years old.
I want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've worked with other little children on TV shows and so forth before, and a lot of them are great. But this little girl we have, she sings great. She's got a big Broadway voice.
Right.
She acts great. And she knows comedy. You know what I mean? She knows funny, and she loves doing it.
Her name is Lindsay Ridgway. How are you, Lindsay?
Thank you, Lindsay.
What's that, darling? You paid him off.
Yes.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm fine.
You were wonderful in the show.
Thank you.
Grew up in Riverside, California?
Yes.
So you're a beautiful Californian girl.
Yes.
Studied in Riverside as a dancer, singer?
Yes, I did.
Studied ballet or what?
I took tap and jazz dance at Freddie Finn Studios. And I took ballet at Riverside Ballet Arts.
God, you're so good at this. This is a hard show. Lorin, this is a hard show for this little girl.
It is a hard show. We all break a sweat, don't we?
It's hard. It's really a hard show. Yeah. You're doing 2 in matinees. I mean, 4. Is it 3 matinees?
You want to know something? After we finish matinee days, we all warm up before the show. Do you know she warms up after the matinee days? I say, Lindsay, what are you going to go do your nightclub act now? She's just ready to go.
Tell me about doing the show, darling. This is such, you feel good about it, and you feel, tell me about it. How do you feel about doing it?
Well, I think it's real fun, and I like it because it's a funny show.
Right.
But sometimes I don't get some of the jokes. I just say them.
You just say them? Oh.
Yes.
You don't mind being a bad little girl on that stage, though, huh?
No.
You enjoy doing that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, go ahead.
And because I'm bad at play, but I know I'm not bad when I'm out of the play, you know, when I'm just a regular kid.
I know you are. You were one of the Little Rascals. You on ABC doing Little Rascals? Something about Little Rascals, the series?
It was called the Prank, but it's called the Prank Patrol now. It's on America's Funniest People.
Right, that's it.
And we play jokes on people. Like we'll set something up, and then we'll run off and we'll play that trick on somebody.
Entertainment. I saw you in entertainment when you were doing Annie here.
Annie
Warbucks.
Yes.
You were great. She stopped the show in Annie Warbucks.
I heard she did.
Oh, to me, she stopped the show.
Well, she knows how to take the stage.
She stopped the show.
Yeah.
That little Bomba Blumshow. You were wonderful in Annie Warbucks. I was saying, who is that girl up there? You were absolutely great.
Thank you.
God, do you love show business that much, huh?
Yes.
Mommy in show business? Mommy and Daddy?
Well, I'm not sure my dad has some talent, but he's very good with numbers.
Oh, he plays the numbers, the daily 3, is that it?
Yes.
I do too.
And my mom was a cable TV newscaster and a radio newscaster. And my sister dances. And so does my mom.
And your mother, she wanted to be an actress, and so she got into cables, and so
Yes.
she encouraged you, or did you just want it to get into yourself? How did that all happen?
Well, I did start singing when I was 3 years old.
I see.
And so I just used to sing all around the house all the time.
Do you remember back, when was your first little gig? What was your first little gig? Paid gig? Do you remember? You did a TV thing or what? Do you remember?
Was a singing contest.
Singing contest? Mm-hmm. Great. You're absolutely wonderful. Andy Warbucks is great. That was a great show.
Yes, it was.
And you did that at I think you did a thing over at the Hollywood Bowl, too.
Yeah, a tribute to Jerry Herman.
That was wonderful.
And we played the 5 kids that came out with...
Did you see her in Andy War? Andy?
No, I
she was
didn't, but I heard about it. I heard she was just great.
Just
she stole the show, like you said.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she was the littlest orphan, right?
Yes. She's still in the show
Molly.
Here, but both of you, she's really...
She's not,
They love...
Skip.
Huh?
I admit it, she does steal.
She does get around that stage. Boy, that movement on that stage, the body movement on that stage. Are you that way all the time, every performance, on that key? You know what I mean? That key, you stay level on that key. Isn't that incredible?
She is. She's perfectly consistent.
Consistent. Is she really?
And she just, she just knows. So I think some people are show business or they're not, and she is. She just knows instinctively how to come out and take the stage.
The crowds are coming out like crazy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this, being in a hit show now?
Well, I feel real good about it. I mean, it's fun. And it's very fun being in front of an audience.
An audience that is cream of the crop in Hollywood, darling. Everyone is coming to see the show. Am I right?
Yes.
Are you getting movie things on this? Is she getting movie calls? Are you getting things about movies, contracts, and people offering you things?
She's had agents
Yes.
come and look at.
A lot of agents are coming to see this. Lindsay
Yes.
Huh? This is great. This is absolutely great. Where are you going to take this show after? How long are you going to be here? For a while?
We'll be here for until...
You don't know?
Yeah.
It's just going business.
I expect it will be a nice, healthy run. I think they're thinking about San Francisco
San Francisco.
and London.
Oh, wait till San Francisco gets it. And London.
Yeah.
That audience is going to love it.
London will love it.
Yeah. You want to do London?
I would love to.
Really?
Oh,
But San Francisco's your home. Wouldn't you like to do San Francisco?
Well, then I have to explain to my family why I'm wearing a dress.
Why do you have to explain to your family?
They're
but you're in
very
show business.
conservative. I mean,
Yes.
I'm sure I could do it.
Is a
but-
nice Jewish family is that conservative? Is it?
Well, they're not Jewish.
They're not Jewish?
No.
Okay.
No. My grandfather used to run the Scottish Rite.
Oh, okay.
So very conservative.
Okay. I see. Growing up in San Francisco, who encouraged Lorin to get in show business? Who encouraged you?
I did.
At what age, Lorin? At what age were you?
I just always wanted to be in show business, and I begged my mother to give
Were you
me
funny at
acting
school
classes.
high
Yeah,
school?
I was the class clown. In all the yearbooks, I was the class clown. Yeah.
New York. Who did it in New York? This show. Do you
My
remember?
part?
Yeah.
Joel Biggs.
Joe Biggs. I don't know.
No.
But the show was a very big hit in New York too.
Yeah, it was.
You're getting rave reviews. You're getting a lot of awards here in Los Angeles. One of the best shows in LA.
I think people are ready for something that's just fun and funny, and they can just come and laugh.
Tell me about your fantasy thing on ice. Your Christmas fantasy, is it?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I worked with Bronson Pinchot on it, and I was the hostess, and it's like where he tells me a story about ice, a snowflake.
Right.
And there's all these ice skaters, and there's all the Disney characters in it.
Oh, I see. Fun. You ice skate, do you?
No.
No. Tell me about Santa. You're excited for Christmas coming up now?
Yes.
You are?
I went to see Santa yesterday.
Where?
In my hometown.
At Riverside. So you still live in Riverside? You
Yes.
commute back and forth from the show? Or?
No, we don't. They're putting us up out here.
Ah, okay. Because it's a hard gig to do back and forth every night, isn't
Yes.
it? Huh? Lorin, tell me about the Christmas holidays. Are you staying open at the theater? Or
Oh, yeah. Well, we have a lot of extra matinees
Right.
around the holidays, and then we're off Christmas Eve and Christmas.
I see.
Yeah.
About Shirley Temple. Do you ever watch her movies when you were a little girl?
Yes.
Yes?
I loved her movies.
You loved her movies?
Yes.
Well, I think they should redo it, and you should be one of her doing her films, child star. They had those Deanna Durbin movies and all those great movies. Remember those movies?
Oh, sure.
They should bring kid movies back instead of
I think that would be
instead of the
fun.
kids doing violence so much. You know,
Yeah.
little kids carrying on. I think they should do musicals, little musicals. How about doing that?
I can play the Arthur Treacher parts.
Right, you'd be wonderful. You'd absolutely be wonderful. Right. You're enjoying doing the show, though.
Yes.
Some of the numbers. Tell me some of the numbers you're doing in the show.
By myself or with everybody else?
Well, by yourself first.
Well, the first song I do when I come out is called Born to Entertain.
Uh-huh.
And the second solo I do is to play this part. And I think the third solo I do is,
You do a lot of solos,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes. The number you do back there, I saw you do one number is so good. There's several numbers, but oh, that one particular number.
In the first act or the second act?
I think it's the
Is it the Mama Rose type
That's it,
number?
that's it.
I Want the Girl.
what
Yeah.
the number? What is that in the first or second act?
That's in the second
oh,
act.
that's so good.
Yeah, well, that's
That's-
my blood curdling number.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's a great number. You really put
But
everything.
I
into
was
that.
so lucky that this part has that depth, you know, that it's not
Lorin,
just
when you went for
cartoon.
the part, when you auditioned for the part,
Yeah.
there were a lot of people that didn't
Lots of
audition.
them. Lots of people with big TVQ.
Like Charles Pierce.
Well, let's
didn't-
not say the people that didn't get the part. But,
Right.
you know.
Did Gypsy audition?
Speaking of Charles Pierce, I just think he's brilliant.
Oh,
by the
yes,
way.
Charles
He
is
was there
great.
on opening night with
Yes,
B. Arthur.
B. Arthur, and they loved you. They
Well,
really loved you.
Yeah, that was such a compliment because I think Charles Pierce is one of the greatest stage performers of this century.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Yeah.
That number is a hard number to do, Sylvia. I mean, she's a strong lady.
Yeah.
Who are some of the people? I mean, when you auditioned for this, how many times you had to go back for it, or just
4, it was endless.
really?
And then on the
How did you prove yourself when they?
Well, I got my callbacks, and you know we sang and
Right.
did all that, and we read, and then I heard that there was another actor who everybody would know from television who went in drag.
You didn't go in drag.
Well, no, I didn't go the first 3 times in drag, and then I
Okay.
said, well, this guy's going in drag, you know. I
Right.
said, I don't know. I don't like to go to auditions in drag because
Of
I
course.
don't drive.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, try
You're
taking
right.
the number 217 in heels. I don't recommend it.
I agree.
You know, but I said, no, I want this part, so I'm going to do it. And that's the day that Bob Mackie came. And luckily, I was smart enough to wear simple black. So I think he kind of digged the way I looked or something, and it worked. I'm glad I did it.
Lindsay, with you, how did you? What happened? Did they see you on the Annie Warbucks? Did you have to audition or what?
For Annie Warbucks?
No, for Ruthless.
Yes,
did you get the part?
I did. I went to the first audition, then they called me back
Right.
maybe 2 times.
Uh-huh.
And then the next day,
You got it.
yeah.
Sir, I would too. Yes. Have to see it right
She's
there.
phenomenal.
Yes.
Nobody could come near her.
Yeah, she's great.
I mean,
She's
if you audition children all over the whole country, I don't think you could find somebody
not really.
who can do everything the way she
She
does.
just handles it beautiful on that stage. 8 years old.
And I'm not
Handles it
saying that
incredible.
because you have more cash. I know you don't.
But tell me about the mother. Your mother is
Joan
wonderful.
Ryan. She's
Joan
brilliant.
Ryan. She has that quality of, I'll tell you who she has a quality of. Natalie Wood.
You think so?
Oh, on stage. She reminded me of Natalie Wood. I just loved her. I thought she was wonderful.
She deserves all the great reviews she's gotten.
She's great.
Yeah.
Working with her. How's working with your mom? I mean, comparing with your real mother and her, how? Tell me.
Well, Joan Ryan is fun to work with. She has a great voice, and she's just acting like my real mother.
Right.
But she's like a second mother to me.
Oh, okay. Have you learned anything by doing this show? You must be learning a lot of things every show, every performance, every night. Are you learning a lot of things, Lindsay? What have you learned? What have you learned,
Well, I'm
Lindsay?
learning not to say bad words in my house. and
okay.
really not to use those words.
Oh, you mean from backstage
Because,
you're saying
yes.
things? You're saying things?
Well, she says a couple of blue words on stage.
Yes, I know, but you guys backstage must use a lot of blue words backstage.
Well, you know, we all dress in one big room.
I see.
So she seemed some of the rougher parts back there. But she's so cool. You know what she said to me when we were going up for the second act, and I was late, and I'm coming up in 8 feet of feathers and so forth. She says, because I was late, well, there's the man-woman.
The man-woman. You're learning nice, man. Tell me about Bob Mackie. Have you met him?
Yes.
The costumes are great, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes?
For opening night,
yes.
I did get one of his designer Barbies.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, good.
And now it's like sequins and jeweled, and it has a big cone on it, and with like the cone I wear in the second act.
Right.
And it's just, it's not a doll to play with. It's a doll that you keep for sale.
Bob Mackie, fun, nice guy.
I think he's
costumes,
just the most charming guy.
Sunset Boulevard, Ruthless. He does
brilliant.
all best.
You know, he has whimsy in his head. Well, look at all those costumes for Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett came to see the show, and she told us how sometimes they were doing those sketches and they didn't have a clue as to what they were doing.
Right.
They would go put on Bob's costumes, and it would just be there.
It flowed in. It just flowed.
Well, it just gave them the whole
that's it.
angle.
Yeah, of course. That's what, when you're wearing that beautiful costume, that the leopard thing, is it? Is it a leopard or not? Or
there's a leopard swing coat.
thing. That I like. The coat, yeah. That's great.
Oh, I'll let you try it on.
Gloria Swanson. That's Gloria Swanson. You know, he's got that Gloria Swanson thing go.
He's also doing Gypsy, you know.
Is he really?
Oh,
For
yeah.
Beth?
Beth,
oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
He's a busy man,
And I've
isn't he?
seen pictures, and her costumes are just fitted perfectly. And the wigs, too.
How about the writing of the show? Are they changing it all the time, or is it just there?
No, we've set it.
It's all set?
Yeah.
You don't change?
Everything is very precise and choreographed, you know, particularly Joan Ryan's stuff.
Right.
If you notice, all her takes are just masterfully done. She's brilliant
she's great.
at doing every little turn she has to do. And very complicated.
And Rita McKenzie, let's not overlook her. Rita McKenzie, your grandmother. Oh,
yes.
Tell me about your grandmother. I want to know about Rita McKenzie.
The queen of the dressing room.
Is she really?
Oh, yes. She's so much fun.
She takes over, right? She's so Ethel Mermanish, isn't she?
She has that energy on stage
Right.
like I don't think we've seen in years and years, you know? Yes, she did do the Ethel Merman show. That's
a one-woman show. She's really great.
Yeah.
I interviewed her a few years ago when she was in town.
Oh, did you?
Yes, she was wonderful. I just adored her. Tell me about her working with your grandmother's. And that, what do you do with her? She's trying to tell you. What is she trying to tell you? Your grandmother's trying to tell you something. What's she trying to tell you?
She's trying to get me to tell her if I have been naughty. Because that's what my mom tells her. She tells her about how but she doesn't tell how I've killed. She's going to tell her how I have. And then I just come and interrupt her because I don't want her to tell her what I have done.
Your name is Tina in the show.
Yes.
That was my mother's name, Tina. I love that name. When I heard Tina, I just felt, oh, lovely. What a darling name. That was my mommy's name, Tina. Christine. Christine is her name. Show business was my life, too. As a child on stage, looking at you, and I'm sitting there the other week, I thought of myself at 9 years old. You're 8. I'm saying to myself, oh my God, my pushy mother in show business, that was my mother doing this to me in Hollywood when I was in the 40s. And I just cried. I felt sad for you at that moment. And it made me sad, and then you came and brought me up happy again. Something happened, I don't know, that's the way I felt.
Did you feel stifled by your mother? Like that?
Yes, being pushed. And I interviewed Nort, Dennis the Menace.
Oh, yeah.
I interviewed him.
Well, he had problems with his aunt.
With his aunt.
Yeah.
And his family pushed him so hard as a child actor. And
Lindsay's
you're a
mom
happy girl. Your mother must be watching you very carefully. Is that right?
Yes.
So you're getting your proper education? You're going to bed early? You're doing all this, getting at this?
Well, I don't really go to bed early.
No, I understand. You can't. I understand that. But you're mixing with some of the children that your age, too? Are you?
Not really.
Not really.
Because
go ahead.
some people want to do what I am doing right now.
Right.
They want to act too.
Right.
And somebody in my class is auditioning for commercials now too.
They are?
Yes.
How about Broadway? What's going to happen with My Little Darling? I'd love to see you on Broadway. How about this?
Yeah.
Broadway, child.
I think she ought
Am
to
I
do
right?
it.
She should be. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Lorin, you've been doing a lot of things. You worked on this wonderful show. I saw you last.
Melody Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great show.
I also have a recurring role.
And
on
you're
it.
on. That's right. You
Saved
are
by the
Murphy Brown.
I was on Murphy Brown.
Not all. You go on Murphy Brown. You do a lot. You have a movie coming out right now.
I do?
Yes, you do. Well, you did, or is it
Oh, I
out?
did. I've done a couple movies. I did Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme. That was a couple of years ago.
Tell me about Jean-Claude Van Damme. He lives at the St. James. I see him
Does
quite
he?
often. Yes, he does.
Taka.
Oh, he runs.
He was very nice. He was gentlemanly, you know.
Uh-huh.
He knows what he wants, you know.
Uh-huh.
He wants to be the boss. That's okay, you know.
Did you try New York before you came to
I
Hollywood
lived
after you
in
left
New
for
York
San
for
Francisco?
8 years, yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
Was it tough then? Where were you doing in New York at the time? Doing shows and plays?
Well, I moved there when I was 20. So,
Good time.
you know, of course I bumped into a lot of walls.
Uh-huh.
You know, I did some off-Broadway things.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of shows out of New York.
Right. You have a great voice, speaking
Thank
voice.
you.
Do you do voiceovers?
Yeah. I did a series called What a Dummy.
Right.
And I was the dummy's voice. Kay Ballard was on it.
Oh, I love her. I think she's great.
Well, I had known Kay Ballard from New York.
Right.
I thought she's a very generous person. She gave me a job answering her mail and doing things.
Did
when
she really?
She knew I needed a job.
I
I wasn't particularly good at doing the job,
but she wanted
that's
you to
the
be
kind
there
of
to help.
person-
That's what she
Yeah.
wanted. Yeah, yeah. TV things. Come on. What's happening with you? Television.
Well, I'm getting calls for lots of television things.
You should. You are getting a lot of calls. Hollywood
Yes.
is open for you, my darling. There's just you're getting such awards right now. Of this, it's a Circle Award. What was it? The best Broadway musical about a child star. You know, is it the one? What was
They
it?
got the award for Best Off-Broadway
Off-Broadway musical. Right. How did you feel about that?
I thought that was,
It's tremendous.
yeah.
Who else is in the show?
Well, we
Rita
said Rita
McKenzie,
McKenzie
and
and
we have-
Joan Ryan
And-
Nancy Lenari.
That's it. That's it. That's it. I
Who's
can't
a
remember.
very wonderful actress.
Yes.
Smart, funny.
Yes.
You know what I
yes.
mean?
She's a school teacher, isn't she?
Right.
Yeah, school teacher.
And
right.
she also plays the modern thespian.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
And Joanne Baum
Yeah.
Joanne Baum is the yes.
plays Eve.
Yes. Eve Harrington.
Yeah.
It is very much Eve Harrington, isn't it? The show. It really
The
is.
second act is.
Second is, yeah, very much. Yeah. Well, you must be very thrilled about the show,
Yes.
and you're working it, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me some of the stuff what they're saying backstage. What are some of the stuff they really are saying backstage? Go ahead. Not naughty things, but you know, you guys get backstage and you say, "Oh, was that a bad audience, or they didn't get this or that, or anything like that?" Do you go back there and scream? Do they? You guys scream,
Well,
Carey, or say, "Oh, it was a great
sometimes
show"?
After the show, we come down, we say it was the worst curtain call we ever done, or if it was the best
Or the
curtain
best,
call
right.
we ever done.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes we talk about the audience.
Who's some of the stars have been coming to see you? Some of the audiences.
Betty White came
Did she come back to say hello to you?
at the opening night party. It was on opening night when she came.
Okay.
And I said hi to her at the opening night party.
Uh-huh.
And she's a very nice lady.
Lindsay, how did you feel at the opening night party in Hollywood, where all these wonderful Hollywood people come to see Lindsay? And how did you feel? Tell me.
I felt
Curtis will shoot the camera. Okay.
3, 2.
1, hi, test. Curtis Harrington, how are you?
I'm very well.
We're here at the Hilton Hotel right now, and it's the Feather Awards.
Yes, I noticed.
This is the dance, International Dance Awards for the world. Isn't
Ballroom
it?
dancing, ballroom, yes, of various kinds.
And very interesting, even the Western.
Yes, yes, I love the dance. They said, I don't know what it's called, but they said they demonstrated this. They said it's the New Rage, the couple in Kelly green and black.
Curtis Harrington, Curtis Harrington is one of the finest directors, writers. He has done many films. Curtis, what are you doing right now at the moment?
Well, right now I'm developing a new project called Night Song, and working on the script, and we'll be casting it soon.
I like that title, Night Song. What is that about?
It's a supernatural thriller.
Is it really?
Uh-huh.
You always do those kind of things.
That's right. That's my forte. Yes.
Is it because in your background you started with Charles? You grew up here in Hollywood.
Yes.
And you worked with the greatest directors in the world.
Well,
Charles Cukor.
Yeah, George Cukor. Yeah.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
sorry. Tell me about George Cukor.
Well, he was the great woman's director, you know.
Like Katharine Hepburn.
Katharine Hepburn, Greta Garbo. He directed Camille, after all, with probably Greta Garbo's best movie. And I was very flattered earlier in my career when I was making a film you know about called What's the Matter with Helen?
With this Shelley Winters.
Shelley Winters and Debbie Reynolds. And I was caught between these two formidable stars. And one of the crew people said, you know, you're the new George Cukor because of the beautiful way you handle these two temperamental ladies.
Is that very important as a director, how to handle stars like?
Oh yes.
It is.
Oh yes. Especially when you have a film like that with two female stars, there's inevitably some sense of rivalry, you know, and the director is right in the middle.
Right. You do get that a lot with stars.
Very diplomatic.
So Curtis Harrington.
So they still, each of them feel that they're being properly taken care of, you know. And
Debbie Reynolds, was she difficult? Not at all.
No, not at all. No. It's just, it was the situation, you know, between the two.
Right.
Inevitably, there's some rivalry when you have two stars with equal-sized parts in the same movie.
Now, Faye Dunaway, right now, she was supposed to do Sunset Boulevard.
Yes,
I
read about it.
It's a very disappointing, because I expected her to be great, and I really wanted her to be great.
So did I. I was looking forward to seeing the show again, just to see Faye.
Right.
Yes.
What do you think would happen, actually? Because, what do you think happened? Is it between Lowe Weber and her? Or
well, apparently, I mean, you know, she she hasn't sung in a show before,
but
so.
She auditioned for them?
That's right. I know. Obviously, I don't know the inside story,
right.
But I really think it is very unfortunate because she's a marvelous actress, and it seemed to me that even if she didn't have the greatest voice in the world, you know, a lot of people are in musical comedies and they're not opera stars, you know.
Absolutely.
It's accepted in the musical comedy theater.
I don't expect her to have a great voice, and I expect
before Angela Lansbury did Mame, I remember because I knew a friend of hers who was giving her voice lessons, and she worked very hard, just like we read that Faye was working, to prepare for the part, but she had never sung in a musical before she did that, you know.
But I think they wanted to change the key up higher.
Well, what difference would it make?
I don't know.
I mean, a song is supposed to sung in the key that's comfortable for the singer. Doesn't matter what key it is, so that makes no sense.
I just interviewed Carey Mason from Sunset Boulevard, the standby.
Yes.
And I didn't realize there was a difference between standby and understudy. There is a difference. I didn't know. The standby is waiting to go on, and the understudy is there.
But I thought it was the same thing.
No, it isn't. I thought so. I did too, Curtis.
No, I didn't know that.
No, I interviewed her last week, and she didn't. She expected Faye Dunaway coming in, and she was going to take the part for a few days until Faye got in.
Yes, I read that.
Very disappointing for Carey.
Yeah.
And she was wonderful. I understand she did go in about 7 times for Glenn Close. And but she's going to be in New York with Glenn. She's going to still be her standby.
She's going to still be her standby.
Right.
For the New York
Now, what do you
run.
think about Glenn Close going to New York? I mean, like, why didn't they have a replacement here if they feel like it's not going to be?
Well,
as
you
a
know,
director,
the thing is that they wanted a star. They feel that they need a star.
But if she did so well, Carey Mason did so well. You're a director. If Carey Mason did so well here at the 9 performances that Glenn Close, still, I mean.
Yeah, but you don't. You know, the public wants a star, especially in that role. I think that's why they didn't. That's why when he found that Glenn Close was so good, he aced out Patti LuPone. She was originally scheduled to do the New York show, you know, because
Cheetah Rivera would be greater, though. I thought Cheetah would be beautiful.
Yes, Cheetah ought to be wonderful.
She would be wonderful.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, Curtis, anything else new in your life? Exciting?
No.
You keep yourself busy. You're writing and all.
Yes, very busy. And I was recently interviewed by the BBC. Television. They had a crew here in Hollywood, and I've already been on the air in England, and so now every day I'm getting another letter from London saying, saw you on television the other night. So
Curtis Harrington, I love you, and thank you for coming to my birthday party, matter of fact.
Oh, it was great. You have the greatest birthday parties of anyone in Hollywood.
You're a sweetie pie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here I am at the Hilton Hotel at the Feather Award, and you are just wonderful, darling. How are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name, my darling?
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Melody.
What a great ballroom dance. You danced with Nat King Cole and that music of fascination. What made you pick that song?
It's just wonderful.
How long you been together dancing?
3 years.
Huh?
3 years.
3 years. And you from where? South Africa? Where?
Johannesburg.
Johannesburg. How did you meet?
Actually I was dancing. She found me dancing. I have 5 years in dancing. So
you were 5 years dancing, and she was
3 years.
3 years, and you both met. Are you in love, you two, or what? No,
Nope.
Oh, just danced it out. Okay, I didn't know you might have been. I don't know. You're adorable out there. You dance like you are 52 years old. You know that? You're absolutely beautiful. You think of Sid Charisse when you dance, darling? Who do you think of when you're dancing out there? Ooh. What goes through your mind while you're dancing? The music? Huh? Is he a good partner? Is he? How about she? No?
Nope. He's
Nope.
not my good partner.
Is he hard, difficult? Difficult to work with? No, you're both good, huh? You work out? How's your routines? How long do you take to work out when you're rehearsing?
Maybe a day.
A day?
A day or 2.
You're enjoying America right now?
Yeah.
Is this your first trip?
Yes. First trip out of South Africa.
Yeah. When you're going back to South Africa now? Are you going to stay here?
On the 19th of July.
19th of July.
Where?
The 19th of July.
What are you going to do until the 19th of July? What are you going to do?
There's some other competitions that will be taking part in the first, second, third, and...
So you're here for all the...
On the 8th of July.
Oh, I see. You did a lot of competitions then. God, that's
and
wonderful.
And you've got a camp. And
you both are just wonderful. You're just both wonderful.
Thanks.
And I congratulate you both. How old are you?
13.
13.
13.
13. You're both 13, but you're taller though. I see. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Welcome to America.
Thanks.
Okay. Grace Robbins. Hi, darling. Look at all the jewels. Are these all yours, darling?
Yes, of course, darling. It's my collection.
We're here at the Hilton Hotel, and it's the Feather Award, Dance Feather Award.
That's what it is. It's like the Academy Awards for dancers.
Right,
and
international dancers.
we have seen some dancers tonight that are really incredible.
You've enjoyed it, have you?
Very much.
That team from South Africa, that lovely little kid, those kids were wonderful.
Yes. Yes, they were. And then you just saw, I don't know if you saw the last act, was mother, father, and daughter.
Yank my doodle, it's an Andy.
Yes.
I I thought so.
It was just a wonderful show. And it's
Grace
really
Robbins, singer, married to Harold Robbins, author. You're writing a book right now.
Right.
Tell me about
what?
you dance.
Yes, I used to be an Arthur Murray teacher.
Were you really?
You didn't know this.
We're learning something new tonight. Really?
When I was going to college, between semesters, one summer, I went to the Arthur Murray studio in Flushing, Long Island. I was going to Queens College. And they gave me the most incredible course to teach dancing, a 6-week course. And they said, of course, you know, you have to stay and now teach. I taught for 2 weeks. I did sell one a lifetime, whatever that was.
Grace, you're just hitting something in my... Surprise, surprise, surprise.
And I loved it, but I went back to school.
And you're such a great singer, too. Really
Thank
a great
you.
singer.
Thank you.
Right now, you're performing anywhere?
No, I'm not. I'm writing my book.
Oh, that's right. Tell me about your book.
Well,
Are you going to let it all hang out there? Let it all...
Well, let's put it this way. I'm going to tell about all the incredible times I've had with Harold. It's been 28 years.
You were married 28 years?
Mm-hmm.
And one daughter?
And one daughter. She's married now. But the thing is this. We had an incredible time.
Right.
And I want to write about that.
I like that word you just said. She said incredible time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And everybody wants to know about that incredible time.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Grace Robbins, you look beautiful tonight. You always look. Matter of fact, you always look beautiful.
Thank
darling.
you, darling.
I love you, darling.
It's always good to see you.
Nice seeing you, darling. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Here we are at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. I just interviewed those kids. They're kids. They're wonderful. Their names are
Malaudi and Guguletu.
Because the way they said it, I couldn't understand.
I know.
I love it. I think they're wonderful. They're only 13 years old. They're both 13.
Yes.
And how did you discover them?
Well, what happened is the Los Angeles Times did an article on them 1 year ago about ballroom dancing in the townships. And Kay Cannon republished that in the April issue of Dance Action magazine. Kay Cannon, the producer of the Feather Awards. Right.
And they're just wonderful.
They're great. I saw them. I love them. Their little souls reached out to me from across the ocean, and I tried to get some money to them and some letters. Didn't do it. Contacted the LA Times, talked to Scott Kraft, who wrote the article. He happened to be in Paris, and he said, if you can get me the information, I'm going back to South Africa to cover the elections, and I'll give it to them.
How do you feel about tonight's event?
Oh,
these kids, they were accepted so well.
I feel like a mother. And I just stood there with tears in my eyes. I can't explain how I feel about these people. It feels like I've lost them, and now I found them again.
They're lovely. They're just lovely. Is this the father over here? Can I?
He's the teacher.
He's
their teacher.
Is he really?
He's their teacher. He's the ballroom teacher.
Okay, you're wonderful. Thank you very, very much.
And thank you so much. Great.
Hi. Your name is what?
Cameo.
Cameo. Oh, you're so beautiful. How old are you, Cameo?
6.
6. And you did Yankee Doodle Dandy out there. Is this your mommy and daddy?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. This is our daughter, the star.
The name of the group.
This is the Cross family. It's Michael, Amber, and Cameo.
Is that it?
That's
Yes.
it.
Where are you folks from originally?
From Denver, Colorado.
Are you really?
Yes.
They say that's a safe place to be when the earthquake comes because that is going to be the ocean front. You know that. California ocean front's going to be in Denver. Did you know that, darling? You're so sweet. How long you been dancing?
Since I was 2.
2. And you are? How old?
Cameo.
I know Cameo. How old?
6.
So you've been dancing 4 years. Oh, Cameo. God, you were wonderful, yeah. You know, I used to do that number, Yankee Doodle Dandy, when I was a young actor and comedian, singer for the military in Germany. I did all that. Was my opening number.
That sounds wonderful.
Yankee Doodle Dandy. I did all that in Vietnam. I did all that. And you remind me of you, darling. You were just adorable.
And our friend, we steal this song because he danced to it, and he had a team. It was a team.
It was a team. Tell me, been dancing together how long?
17 years.
17.
That's how we met, and that's kept us together.
How'd you meet?
Through dancing.
At a dance studio.
At a dance studio.
Ah, you both were lovers of dancers?
Yes.
and you both fell in love, and that was it.
That's how we met, and we've been together ever
happens
since.
with a lot of dancers, dance partners?
No, actually, we've been told we're one of the longest married couples in dancing right now.
I think a lot of couples meet dancing and have relationships, but they don't stay together very long. I don't know why.
Denver, Colorado. What? I mean, Denver, Colorado is such a nice, clean place, high up. I got dizzy living there once. I was there, I did a show, and I got so dizzy because it was so high. Do you ever get dizzy?
Never.
No, never get dizzy? I love Colorado. It's a beautiful state.
We love it there. It is
Yes,
beautiful. We've been there since 1968.
What do you do? What do you actually do?
Well, now we're doing dancing full time. We're dance instructors.
Really?
Full-time
Right.
dance teachers.
Right. We teach swing and some Latin
In Denver?
in Denver.
West
right.
Coast swing is our specialty.
And we
Is that
travel.
what it's in?
Yes.
Right. We also travel around the country and do workshops, and we teach at conventions, and we go fly all over the country. She gets to go with us, which is a great.
Are you enjoying it? Traveling around? Little stage, packing your bags and going around, huh? Yes? Born in the trunk, right, darling? She's adorable. She's absolutely adorable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other children?
We have a son who is 23, just graduated
Really?
from college.
Yes.
23.
23. Yes.
Looking at you two lovely people, 23. Not-
It's a dancing. It
Believe it or
keeps you
not.
young. I tell you.
Does it?
Dancing. Yes.
Does it really?
I think so.
It does.
Is it you exercise at all? Or
This is our exercise.
This is your
This is
exercise. What's your day like when you get up to rehearse?
Late. We sleep late. We don't
sleep late?
practice all day.
But we do work
start
late.
slow.
Right. And we spend the day doing a lot of choreography, getting business things. You know, dancing's a business like any other
What made
business.
you get into dancing as a young man? I want to know.
I wanted to be around ladies, or wanted to be around, and I.
You wanted to be around
Yes,
ladies, so
yes.
that's the way to get it, huh?
Better believe it. I thought.
Did you hear that, darling? You're going to be around boys, huh? To catch up. How about you? What made you?
I've danced since I was 9. I started with ballet, and I was a dance major in college. And then I got married before Michael and stopped dancing for 5 years, and I was miserable. So when that relationship was over, I got right back into dancing, into ballroom and
What
swing.
has been the hardest for you two as a dance, working together as a family? What has been the hardest?
Finding
you
time for the family. We have to make time. We have
Do
to
you make time?
Yes,
schedule-
yes, we
schedule
definitely have
family
to.
time.
You seem very kind and spiritual and happy. Are you happy, honey? Yes? You enjoy doing it? Huh? You go to
And-
school?
But next year I'm going to start first grade.
Next, first grade? Ah, okay. What's your sign, darling? Gemini? Men? I bet you're a Gemini. What is she?
She's Aries.
Aries. Well, that's good. April, huh?
No, February.
Is it February? Aries is February?
Pisces.
Pisces
No,
is
I'm
February.
Pisces. She's
You're
Aries.
Pisces. She's Aries.
We're both February, though.
Where are you originally from?
I was born in Michigan. My dad is in the Army, and we traveled all over the world.
Military, really, like me. I entertained the troops.
Did
Where were
you?
stationed?
We lived in Germany.
I did too.
England, and all over the South.
Where in Germany were you?
Hanau.
I worked Hanau. I was at the Everly Brothers, Phil and Dawn. I was there in 63, 64, I think. Were you there then?
There from 59 to 62. That's where
It was a great time. Is that where you started?
That's where I started.
So you're a military daughter.
So is Michael.
Right.
Michael,
By
military?
coincidence.
Same thing. My father was in the Air Force, and I was originally born in South Carolina. And we went to Bermuda, San Antonio, Germany. I was in a place called Bitburg, which made the news
Bitburg, I know it
years
very
ago,
well. I
right?
know it very well. I know it
And
very
our
well.
fathers both retired in Denver, Colorado.
Same year.
Right.
Interesting. Two young people, clean American type of wholesome Americans, and they got a family, and your military daughters and sons. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Nice talking
And
to
we
you both.
teach at an American Legion, isn't
Do
it?
you really? I think it's great. Nice. Your guys were wonderful, darling. You were absolutely beautiful, darling.
And tomorrow we're leaving to
Where?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Phoenix? Ooh, I love it. Nice talking to you, sweetie. You got the gorgeous eyes. Get those eyes. Look, aren't they beautiful? Look at that camera of those eyes. You're a sweetie. Yak my doodle, it's a dandy. Cutie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice
Very
talking to you.
You're sweet.
Lowe again. With us today is an entertainer whose favorite paper is carbon, whose favorite punctuation is the ditto mark, and who hopes other people make good impressions on him. He's the talented and engaging Fred Travalen. And now, he is your yet-to-be-copied man of the half hour, Skippy Lowe.
Fred Travalen, tell me something. You're doing something tonight, matter of fact. What are you doing tonight?
Yes, I'm emceeing and hosting the dinner for Ted Turner, who's receiving the Glasnost Award, the first Glasnost Award from the Soviet Life, Soviet Embassy, and Volunteers of America for all his work in improving relations between our two countries. And Michael King from King World will be there, and I'm going to...
Exciting, huh?
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to do my impersonations of all the presidents.
Right. Where's Fred Travalen from? I know your father. I thought I did. He was a comic, wasn't he?
Yes, he's still working.
He is?
Yeah, he still works out in Long Island. And I'm sure you know him. He was in the business and for a lot of years as a singer, comedian.
Up in the mountains. I think I might have worked with him.
I'm sure you did.
But you grew up, you're born in the Bronx, but you grew up in Long Island?
Born in the Bronx, hey, 178th Street in the Concourse. What's the matter with you, huh? And grew up on Long Island, towns like Bethpage, Massapequa. And
what happened to Travalen as a child? Doing impressions of... you didn't do stars at the beginning of your career. You did... What did you do?
I didn't want anything to do with show business.
Okay.
I saw the the pressure and the heartache that my father went through over this business, and it's a great business, but you know, for the people who aren't in it, you know, there's constant stress and you know, staying on top of things, and you know, the business of the business.
Right.
And as a kid, I didn't want to go through that, so I would do a few impressions like Johnny Ray or Crazy Guggenheim. He'd have me do them at Christmas parties. I would do impressions of my friends. I would do sound effects to make the kids laugh in movies. And, basically, I wanted to be an artist, commercial artist.
Yeah,
I was doing cartoon work and stuff like that. And my mother used to say to me, "You're going to be in show business. You're going to be in show business." And I'd have these big discussions. "No, I'm not. I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to do the Sistine Chapel." She'd say, "Right, but first, you're going to be in show business."
She was a gypsy, wasn't she, huh?
Yeah, she just loved the business, too.
Did she?
You know.
Did she sing or danced, or was she in the business at all?
She was for a very short time, she was a Conover model in New York, which is very prestigious, you know, back then.
What does your dad actually, just a stand-up comedian, sing or anything like that? Or?
He sings, he writes, does jokes, his dialects. He does.
Because I think he worked with the Barry sisters up in the Catskills. Remember the Barry sisters?
Sure.
And I think that's what I remembered.
Barry sisters, Ford and Hines.
Ford and Hines. Mimi Hines, that's Mimi Hines and Phil Ford.
Yes, I saw her on your show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you were telling me about your dad was in the Army, or you were in the, who was in the Army?
My dad was in the Army with Phil Ford during World War II. And in the late 50s, my mother and father went out to the Copacabana. They would go there once a month.
Right.
And Tony Bennett was headlining there. And my father had a business client with him that he was giving him a lot of problems, and he was trying to sell him something, and he wasn't really listening to the show. And this new team came out.
Right.
And my mother said, "Didn't you know of Phil Ford in the Army? Didn't you know of Phil Ford in the Army?" He kept going, "Shh, leave me alone. I almost got this sale." And he realized what she said, and he turned around, he saw Phil, and he screamed his name in the Copacabana. The show stopped. Phil saw him, screamed his name. Mimi came out with some attitude like, "That's okay, guys, just ignore me. It doesn't make any difference." And so as a little kid, I used to hang around with them. They took me to the Sullivan Show, to the Parr Show, all around New York. Yeah.
First nightclub appearance on stage, with your father or yourself, or with what? Tell me.
First one was with my dad. At a place called the Sands. Boy, no one ever asked me this. The Sands Beach Club in Long Beach, Long Island.
I know it.
And he paid me, I think it was $50, and he said, "You got to get out there." I was so nervous. I won't tell you what happened to me physically, but let's just say that on stage it wasn't very pleasant. I was so nervous, I couldn't remember anything, and I was shaking, and I was just not doing the job. You know, I was singing, I Left My Heart in San Francisco and throwing impressions, and he realized I was not going to get through this, and he came out and kind of worked me through it. But that was my first real time on stage with professional lighting, professional sound system, and an audience sitting there.
But Fred Travalen, first, right in your, who wrote this act? First, when you first hit the stage, an act for you to go out there to do all those impressions.
That was me.
It was you.
That was me.
Do you remember your first, what was your first impressions? Like Humphrey Bogart or any of those people? That wasn't like that, was it?
No, I was always trying to find voices that no one else was doing at the time. And believe it or not, that happened to be, at that point, Jim Neighbors. And I realized I had this here pointed chin, so I started just talk like that. And then I said, if I could sing, I can't help it, cause. So I started to do that. And at the time, I was doing weddings on weekends. I was singing. And I wanted to get more work.
Right.
Because I was going up against these Italian Adonises, you know, love, this is my song. You know. So I would do impressions of singers.
Right, right.
And I would do Rod Steiger announcing a telegram. Rod Steiger would read a telegram to the groom's family.
Right.
Okay, congratulations. I hope you are together for a long time. And it started to go around. And I started to get work, but as an impressionist. And I wasn't buying any of this stuff.
But you were a singer, though.
I was a singer.
See, you wanted to be a singer, and then it just got into it.
Just got into it. But those singing lessons...
Did you study acting at all? And singing lessons?
Studied acting. I still study acting. Studied with Gene Buia and Charles Conrad out here.
Remember Carlo Manati?
Carlo Manati, sure.
Dick Roman used to study with.
Yeah, my father, again, I was having trouble with my voice. It was starting to change.
Right.
You know, and I was like, you know, I'd be 1 minute up there, 1 minute down. And my father said, you know what's the matter with you? You have to make your voice stronger than you need it.
Right.
He was always counseling. He still counsels me. I said, well, how do I do a thing like that? He said, you've got to go to Carlo Manati, who is an operatic trainer.
In Carnegie Hall, right.
And you will then have this very powerful voice. And he took me from a 2 1/4 octave range to a 3 octave range.
It was incredible.
He still is. Every once in a while I go back and see him and another teacher by the name of Joe Locasa in New York. And they're good friends, and it's great to talk with them, and they always congratulate me.
Where did this presidential idea come? I love the idea of this presidential thing you did.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm the boy who grew up to be presidents, you know. Anyway. I started to do that. I've always been a politically oriented type of a person. And I would start to do impersonations after the Von Meter records of the early 60s. It became the thing to do, political impressions. Then
Kennedy,
David Fry came along and did voices that no one ever heard before, Nixon and LBJ. And I was formulating my concert act at that point. And I started to do John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson. And then the hard ones started with, can you do Gerald Ford? Can you do Richard Nixon?
Is it difficult to do Gerald Ford?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's not, it is difficult. What makes that so difficult, Fred? Tell me.
It's not a, I mean, Jack had the, you know, the Harvard accent there, and Johnson was very
Texas
recognizable by the way he dragged. But Ford was kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
So what I did was I listened for voices within that voice.
Yes, yes.
And I heard Burl Ives, and I heard Lyndon Johnson.
That's right.
So I kind of married the two, and then I came out with the Gerald Ford. I spoke with my special Kissinger, Henry Messenger, and I started to do him. And then Nixon. And
you brought a tape of the presidential tapes. I love to show it right now. Can we show that?
This is probably a clip from the Many Faces, or Great Debate, whichever way, where I did George Bush, Michael Dukakis, and then on one I did all the 4 presidents.
Great. I love to see it. Okay, let's roll it.
And all the sequels. Nancy loved R2-D2 and C-3PO.
You know, if I said a statement like that, they'd have my furniture on the White House lawn in 45 minutes. But him, he gets away with it.
What are you doing?
Just trying to think of one thing you actually accomplished while serving as President Reagan's lapdog.
There you go again, trying to tear down the president.
I remember now you went to a lot of funerals. Wasn't your slogan, they die, I fly?
For 8 years, I was 1 heartbeat away, always at the ready, waiting to take over with my 1,000 points of light. That's doing something.
You have fun doing that.
Oh, I have a ball doing that.
Who does the makeup? Your makeup man I understand he wins awards.
Yeah, he won 2 ACE Awards.
Did he really?
For the work with the Family Channel. His name is Tom Brumberger, and Tom and I have been friends for 10 years. And I've always wanted, because of my art background, and I always used to draw portraits, I always used to say, wouldn't it be great if you could look exactly like these people? Now, I did a show in the mid-'70s called Copycats with Rich Little, Marilyn Michaels, Frank Gorshin. And even then, they wouldn't spring for the idea. They'd say, well, you can put eyebrows on, and you can put a little nose on.
They wouldn't do the whole thing.
But they wouldn't do the whole thing. So it took all those years to finally get a hold of this guy, Tom Brumberger. We did a cable show called Just for Laughs back then. and we started to work together. And he is as much a perfectionist in this work as I am. So I know it's going to be exact with him, and the wardrobe, Carla Kramer does the wardrobing. She researches all these things, so that when you see these people, the illusion is it is the person.
It is the illusion.
Yeah.
But because when you're ready to, you're there, you feel like the person,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
you? Do you? More so than without it, Fred?
Absolutely.
You do?
You feel like it, and your body language, the tape recorder of the subconscious, which records everything, plays back, and all of a sudden, I'll watch those tapes and I'll say, I didn't realize I did that with the hand or the foot. And someone says, well, George Bush does that. But that's just the mind, the creative mind.
How long does it take, the makeup?
3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah, 2 to 3 hours.
Gee, that's
we did a tribute to Sinatra that took 23 hours in one day. And I had the fantastic treat. We all have the little boy in us, right?
Right.
I got to be President Bush to President Bush in Washington, D.C. with a Secret Service escort. And
how was that?
It was incredible. Here I am standing in this receiving line, looking like the President of the United States, who's considerably taller than I am, and he's coming down the line, shaking people's hands, and I started my stuff. I pledge allegiance to the flag, read my lips, my 1,000 points of light shine, and I'm doing all this, he's coming down. So he comes over, and his face, hey, Fred, how are you? Babs, come here, you call Babs?
Yes.
And she goes, oh my goodness gracious. And the two of them are looking at me, and it was a treat, it really was a treat.
So you weren't really Fred Travalen. Did you become...
I was talking as me.
Yeah, right.
Oh, and then I was doing, we had an amusing incident. They actually had me in the holding
Was that
area.
the most wonderful experience in your lifetime, you think?
It's one of
them?
One of them, and to be with it, I've been with the president, it's going on 7 times.
Right.
And each time it's a thrill to be invited.
Right.
And to be in front of large audiences, and I do a few minutes of impressions, and then of course I do him.
You enjoy doing live theater or stage? Or
I would love it. I've never really been offered.
On the theater?
And I would love
to do a one-man show.
Absolutely.
Many faces of Trev Travalen.
Absolutely. I would.
Because you're perfect for that.
You know, I started off Broadway when I started out in New York as an actor, and I worked with Bette Midler at the La Mama Theater.
La Mama Theater, and also
Ellen
that's
Stewart.
right. And Sally Kirtland, also she belonged to that
Tom
too.
Ian.
Tom Ian.
Did a show for Tom Ian.
A lot of great people came from that theater.
Yeah, it was quite a treat, you know. And that was as an actor. Doing these crazy King Beep the Fourth. I did this character called King Beep the Fourth, who did sound effects, noises, tape recorders, all these crazy things that I was doing as a kid. I started to do my act, and people liked it.
Right. You have a new movie out.
Yes.
I love it. It's fun, and you're doing a lot of characters in this new movie.
Doing a lot of characters. The movie's called Night of the Dribbler, and I play 3 lead characters. I play the coach. I play Detective Danny Gibson from New York, and I play Airhead.
That's what I want to see. Can I see Airhead? I hear it's funny. I love to see it. Okay, let's see Airhead from his new movie.
Night
of the Dribbler.
And that shot ends the game. Another 0 in the win column for Watergate, extending the Plumbers' losses to 4, 5, 6 years? Defeat is never easy, but who's to blame? For we're going to take credit for last wins, isn't it also our responsibility to accept the losses? I'd say nah, but it's not my place as a professional sports announcer to allow my personal biases or opinions to get in the way of what is supposed to be objective reporting. But that doesn't stop me from telling you what I think, okay? High Top blew it, and if it was up to me, I'd kill him. But it's not my place. I'm just a fan. Nice outfit, High Top.
Fred, I tell you, you're just absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
But that word, watch my lips. I love it. Read my lips. That's
read my lips.
You know. That made everywhere you go, people must say, "Hey, Fred, read
my lips."
They do say that, don't they?
It's interesting to be called at airports, Mr. President, because sky cabs, cab drivers, Mr. President, how's it going? You know, because I have this association.
Right. Tell me about this film, though. This movie. You enjoy doing it?
I enjoy doing it.
Because you're such a good actor.
Thank you. And I'm looking for more opportunities to do acting. That's why I did the specials, co-produced the specials, did the acting work behind the makeup to show people that I'm an actor. And this film is going to be good for me because there is very little makeup in these films.
Yes.
And they're not personas who are well known. They're people I created for this film. And I think it's going to do me a lot of good.
I have a feeling there's something deep in Fred Travalen. It's more of like a dramatic, you know, comedy. Comedy's tragic, you know. I think you would like to do some dramatic things.
I would love it.
Would you?
I would love it. Because I think some of the most important people in our industry are the people who can go from what they do and make a statement as an actor. Sinatra did it in the 50s and 60s with some great things. Barbra Streisand, Cher, most recently Cher. And it's a great thing when you can do that.
Yeah, look at Shirley MacLaine.
Shirley MacLaine.
You matter of fact, worked with Shirley MacLaine.
Worked with Shirley MacLaine. I was her first opening act.
You were?
In Las Vegas. And I still can't believe those days of my life. Because I had seen her on the David Frost show. She had a book called Don't Fall Off the Mountain.
Right.
And I had this feeling. I was sitting in my house. I turned to my wife. I said, you know what? This woman's going to become a friend of mine. And she said, what? I had a day job then.
Right.
And sure enough, a few years later, here I am auditioning for her. And
did you really have to audition for her?
Yes, I did. She insisted on seeing me. And
where was this, Fred?
It was right out here at the Playboy Club. And everything that could go wrong went wrong. The sound went out, the light went out.
Yep.
And a friend of mine, Arnold Weisberger, rest his soul, turned to Shirley and he said, you know, it's just kind of like you in Pajama Game. Everything went wrong tonight. She said, you know, you're right. Well, fortunately, I still got the audience.
Right.
Because I worked it in. And she said, how would you like to come to Las Vegas with me? And opening night, there I was in Las Vegas, looking out at the VIPs of Hollywood.
Right.
You know, and I was the first one out.
Were you scared?
Yeah, I was.
You were?
Sure I was.
Yeah,
in fact, I was.
What were some of the impressions were you doing at that time?
Oh, I was doing Lieutenant Columbo talking to Richard Nixon, telling him he didn't quite believe the story. I was doing Rose Kennedy, talking to Edward Kennedy.
How wonderful.
Henry Kissinger's honeymoon night, where he was negotiating. So it was a lot of new things that they hadn't heard in Las Vegas, and I got wonderful reviews. And I worked with Shirley for several years until she stopped doing her concerts and went into writing books, and now she's coming back again doing more concerts. So.
Have you met Edward Kennedy? When because you did his brother.
Yeah, I did. I do all. I did Jack, John, Ted, and.
You do them all.
Do them all. I met him once at a dinner, and I didn't do anything before. It was just fast, you know.
Is Fred Travalen married?
Fred Travalen is married with 2 wonderful boys.
Really?
Yeah, my wife Lois, and we have Freddie and Corey. Freddie's 12 and a half, Corey's 10 and a half.
Do you live out here or in New York?
In the Valley. You know.
So you do a lot of traveling.
Oh boy.
You keep away from your family. How do you handle that?
I try the difference, and I don't do everything because they are priority. You know, they always have been, and I can't see it any other way. I mean, I want to be there for them. I want to watch them grow up. I want to share holidays and birthdays and Halloween and stuff. And for some wonderful reason, it seems to work out that way for me.
You're very close with your family. Your father, your mother. You all get together for the holidays and all that?
Well, they're no longer married, but we do. I go to New York and I see them all. And Thanksgivings and stuff like that. It's Italian.
You know. You're Italian.
Italian and Irish.
Italian and Irish.
That's like the blue eyes.
I see. Yeah. How interesting. Is Fred Travalen writing or getting into an album right now, a new album, or a book, or anything like that?
I'd love to do a book, but I have a screenplay that I just finished, which is a Christmas film that we're trying to market.
Right.
And some specials that I've written, and we're just moving along. would like to do a musical video. We have a song called "I Am That Man," which I debuted on the Fred Sajak show with George Bush in makeup singing a rock song, and we'll be having some information on that soon.
You grew up in the Frank Sinatra, great singers.
Yeah.
Dick Roman, all those great singers. Vic Damone. But your favorite was Frank Sinatra. Kept it.
Yeah, still is.
Why is everybody's favorite Sinatra, Fred? What makes it Sinatra so favorite? Give me that. There's something about I don't know. Just everyone.
He's every man. He's every man. He's every man's strength.
Okay, I like to see it.
You know what I mean?
Because you do Frank Sinatra, and I love to see that.
His phrasing is.
Is a phrasing?
An art statement that is very unique.
Okay. Can we see that Sinatra tape? I'd love to see Fred Travalen doing Sinatra.
Yeah, baby. Ho! So let's keep this party polite. stick with me, baby. I'm the guy that you came in with. Luck, be a lady with me. In old New York, if I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
Actually, that was Liza Minnelli's number, wasn't it?
Well, I guess
don't you think that was Liza's came out with New York, New York, and then Sinatra took it over and really
it became his.
It became his song, and it was Liza Minnelli.
Well, I think they do a joke. They work together and they do a joke on that.
You just saw Sinatra. Tell me about that.
I took my kids up to Las Vegas a couple weeks ago to see Frank Sinatra and Bill Cosby. That was my treat to them. And we saw Frank Sinatra at the Bally's Grand Hotel.
Right.
I've seen him. He's always great. He was exceptional in every way.
Yeah.
Every way. The songs he chose. His son was conducting the band for him, the orchestra. And there was something special going on. The play with 3 standing ovations and wouldn't let him off the stage. It was magic. It was magic.
Is Fred Travalen spiritual? Fred, are you spiritual?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
You must be Catholic because you've got to be very. Whatever. You're
I
spiritual.
was raised Catholic, yeah.
You're spiritual.
Yes, and I believe that a lot of what we do in life is what we earn in life, and opportunities are given to us in life to test us, if you will.
You grew up in the business. I mean, you know, traveled around. You've been all over. Your father's in the business. You know, you didn't want to get in the business, but
here I am.
but you have no regrets. Do you have any regrets?
I don't.
You don't. You would do it the same way if you would do it again?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I would not. I would probably concentrate more on the singing aspect.
Singing
aspect, which is what I started doing.
Yeah.
And go from there. But where I am right now is a very good place, and I work the top venues.
Right.
And I have. Hopefully, we're going to hear on a series.
So there is a thing in Fred Travalen. He really wants to be a singer.
I'd love to have a shot at that someday.
Because you're such a great singer.
I've written songs.
A lot of people think, you know, you're just an impressionist and singer, but you've written songs.
Written songs, and I had one song in LA called LA is My Spot, and I had a song about the POW movement, which became very associated with that.
Tell me about the POW movement.
Okay.
I got to know, because you're into that.
The POW movement, I've been involved in that since '81, which is the fullest possible accounting of our men still missing in action, and women, from Vietnam. There has been a lot of progress because of the work of the National League of Families and the commitment of the Reagan administration and now the commitment of the Bush administration.
Right.
I do what I can along the way to keep the issue in the public's mind. And there's a new project I'm working on now called Reconciliation Day, which is really a day, a very spiritual day of forgiveness.
Yes.
And that we offer up this act of forgiveness to God to have Him get involved more to getting these men out.
Right.
Because there are so many avenues and so many stories and so many complications that come up every time something comes close. I think it's time for us to have a higher power to get them out, to get our hostages out.
Do you think the government's doing enough they can for it?
I think they're doing what they can do under the circumstances.
You believe that?
Yeah, I do.
I see.
I think it's, there are people who do not agree with that. But you're talking about a very complicated catch-22 situation, which is why I've come up with this concept of removing all of that and having the nation show that we are concerned about this issue, we do want it resolved, and an act of forgiveness in our own life.
Yes, yes.
It would be very healthy.
Yes. Fred Travalen, do you have new voices coming up? Any new ones coming up?
Well, new voices coming up.
How do you get these new voices? You see different characters or someone you, hey, I could do that, or...
Yes. I generally do the people I like and enjoy in films, like Michael Caine. You know.
Michael Caine, yes.
Michael Caine. I watch your show. I love it. Show me where I'm supposed to work. I'll go. See you later. Or Robert Wagner, you know. He's got that very sexy kind of voice. I like Suits. Do you like Suits? Or Robert De Niro, you know, Bobby De Niro. Bobby De Niro.
Bobby De Niro, very introspect. I don't understand. I don't understand. You understand? Do you understand that I don't understand? I understand that, you know. So I always try to do new.
Huh, interesting. Any girl voices?
Any
female voice there?
The only women that I've ever really done in my performance was Mom's Mabley, who I love.
I love
Oh, you know, Mom, she just had the whole thing going, you know. And Rose Kennedy, who had the very high voice, and she used to do lots of interview shows, you know. And
I wish her well. I know she's been sick for a while, but she's a great lady. And that's basically it.
That's a big flatter for some people, isn't it? To impersonate. I mean, because some, you know, once what's his name did me on the show, once. And yeah, there's several people did me, and I felt very flattered. I felt very flattered.
Sure.
Short, Martin Short. He did Skippy High on his show once. He called himself Skippy High.
He's a talented guy.
He's very talented.
Yes,
he does a lot of impressions too, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know, it seems it's an art form now. You know, it's just an art form. Saturday Night Live has really made that so, and it's fun to do.
You've done a lot of television, though, haven't you? Yeah,
really. A lot of television.
How about Saturday Night Live?
Have not been able to get a slot on that show
You
yet.
would be great on that show.
Did you hear what this man said?
No, not me.
Okay.
Yeah, they know it.
Yeah, but you know, I've submitted things to them over the years, and there's always some thing.
And also, you know what you would be good? As hosting a show, like the Pat Satchuk.
I'd
Yes,
love
as
to
a
give that a
host.
shot,
You know why?
sure.
Because you can do so many things as hosting your own show.
I'd
Fred.
love to.
That would be great.
Yeah. I did that one game show for a while there.
Which one was
Anything
that?
for Money?
Yes, yes. How was it? Fun?
I learned a lot. It became fun after the first 5 months, but it wasn't fun in the first 4 months. It was
A game show's a little different than hosting a talk show. And I think you're more geared for a talk show like this.
Yeah, and I like to get into issues with people and
and also a live audience. You can work. I think it'd be great.
Live audience is great.
You know, like the Pat Sajak show. You know, music. Sure. We need an. I understand. Ed Sullivan's coming back, and you know who's going to be doing it?
I heard it was Larry King. Is that right?
That's not Larry King. King. What's his name? Alan King.
Alan King.
Alan King.
Good old Alan King.
Hey, remember him?
Yes, sure.
Alan King. Sure. He is going to be doing the new Ed Sullivan show.
Isn't that
See,
great?
something like you would be great, though.
I would love to do it.
See?
It's funny, my mom, I'm going to get home, my wife's going to say, I told you so. I told you variety is coming back. Why didn't you do it?
Tell me, you're having a good...
Lowe again. Today our show is seasoned with Gallic spice in the person of the star of such movies as Battleground and Westwood the Women. Say bienvenue to Denise Darcel. Sharing the spotlight with Miss Darcel at this time is her son, actor Craig Darcel. And now, here's your man of the half hour, Skip E. Lowe.
Denise Darcel just closed in a show called Follies in
Yes.
in Long Beach.
Yeah, Civic Life Theater.
Who was in the show with you? Great show.
Juliette Prowse.
Right.
Karen Moreau, great voice. Shawnee Wallace, great voice. Ima Sumac,
Ooh.
great voice.
Range.
Dorothy Lamour, adorable. Ed Ebanco, Harvey Evans, God, you know, great. I don't want to forget anybody because they're all great.
Did you enjoy doing that show? Did you?
Did I enjoy it? Oh la la. I sang a crazy French song and a comedian. I have the sit up blood, did a little can and everything.
Denise Darcel.
Yes, sir.
Came to Hollywood, got a contract with MGM Studios. Some man found you. An American agent found you in
yes,
Paris.
I was working alone, going to my dime store. I'm a dime store baby. And Jeep with all the agents of Bob Hope, Jerry Colonna. They were, they stopped me and they said, "You want to go to Hollywood?" And I said, "Certainly not." Every American boy say that. I was very young. I'm getting younger as the year goes by. I'll be a baby next, you know.
Oui.
But anyway, they came back in the store and I was become Miss Photograph, Miss Paris, Miss this. It was fantastic. Miss Football, mascot, American football, with a big shoulder. I thought they were real until I sat on it. And that was so exciting, you know. And I came to America for a movie.
Which one was it first?
To the Victor.
The Victor.
With Denise Morgan, Denise, Jacques Carson, Vivi Callenford, great actress, and Victor Franzen. It was a black market movie. And I sang
La Vie en Rose.
And we have millions of records.
So you were actually introduced that on film then, did
yes, because they had to choose between me and Piaf.
Oui.
To me, she's the best. But somehow they wanted a more, excuse, I'm very modern, the more sexy voice. You know, a more, but they choose me instead of her and I look a little bit better. I'm very modest, you know. She's a wanted blonde, whatever. But it was a great song.
Denise Darcel.
Yes, sir.
Grew up in Paris or outside of Paris?
I was born in Paris, but I was raised every 6 months in a small village. And I went back every winter. I went to Paris. 6 months here, 6 months a peasant, 6 months a Parisian, healthy.
What made Denise Darcel get in show business?
All my life.
You were a performer all your life?
All my
Singing?
life. No. Well, I sing for in school.
In Paris?
I sang in a little fiesta. I was very young.
Yes.
You know. I was a clown. I had to perform, make people cry, make people laugh all my life. And I knew I was going to be a movie star. I used to pose.
You and Corinne Caldet.
Yeah, well, we sang, we're opposite.
She's
we're opposite. Yeah. Yes, well, she's very beautiful, very quiet, very serene, and I'm more you know, I'm more full of pep, let's say. I give her a little pep once in a while, you know. She's very lovely. She's here.
You did a movie with Van Johnson called Battleground.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Great movie. You were wonderful in that film.
I had this wonderful part, and I speak a word of English. And I was a little
That was an
peasant.
MGM movie.
Yeah. It would make me famous.
What?
Really famous. The director, William Wellman,
Oui.
said to me, I want a real French movie. I don't want any phony makeup. I want a real peasant. So he said, cut a piece of bread there. I said, Mr. Wellman, excuse me. He was kind of rough, but he was wonderful.
Oui.
What is that, Frenchie? Mr. Wellman, you know, in France, we don't cut the bread like this. How do you cut the bread in France? I said, well, we put it like this against our whatever, and we go, we cut the bread.
Oui.
He said, stop. I almost cut myself. You know? And then, that would make me famous. So cutting a piece of bread with a huge knife on a big screen. The knife was 1 story up, excuse expression, my boss was size 40, baby fat in a big screen. Huge piece of bread, and when I cut this, they scream and holler for half an hour. That made me famous.
And some of the hot men that Denise Darcel went out with at that time, when you start becoming a hot lady in Hollywood, some of the men?
I do not know why. I will not go out with movie actors.
Really?
And I'm crazy about movie actors. I work with Burt Lancaster, well, he was married. Glenn Ford, he was married. Gary Cooper was divine, you know, he was married.
Oui.
Errol Flynn, too much, crazy. Tyrone Power, gorgeous.
Married. You've been out with all these wonderful married men.
Well, I was out, but I didn't do anything. I'm not I'm a Mamie Van Doren. I'm not Mamie Van Doren. I don't kiss and tell, but I don't kiss anyway. And I didn't do it, so I can't say. But I had always wonderful-looking men, but not in the show business.
But was that under contract because of MGM put you to tell you what date you should go out with, or did you pick? Not really? You were under contract with MGM?
Not really. No. I had Hugh O'Brien take me to the premiere.
Oui.
You know, I had John Erickson. I mean, a lot of these stars. Rock Hudson was divine. He was so handsome. I told him, you're going to be a star. He said, no, they always put me in those spots. You're like a, you know, good-looking enough. I said, you're going to be a star. He became a star. He was great. Rock Hudson. I used to adore him.
How did you know? How did you know?
He was in GM.
Rock Hudson was at
yes,
MGM? I thought he was at Universal.
No, he was in MGM for a while.
Yes.
And I used to have lunch with him, and I used to tell him, you're going to be a big star. And every time I said that, I'm so modest, every time I said that, I became a star. Clint Eastwood. I said, you're going to be a big star, you're gorgeous. Charles Bronson. He was a cowboy in my movie, you know.
Oui.
His name was Charles Bronski.
Which was that? Which one?
Veracruz.
Ah, Veracruz.
The Lancaster, Gary Cooper, Charles, Ernest Bognan, Charles
Going too
Bronson.
fast.
I'm
Gary
too fast.
Cooper.
I get too excited. We have time.
Gary Cooper. Burt Lancaster.
Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson.
Ernest Bognan.
That was a great movie.
Fantastic.
Where was that filmed?
In Mexico City.
It was in Mexico.
I had a beautiful apartment. I sang at a Reforma Hotel, in a nightclub. I was famous there. They loved me in Mexico. I love Mexico City. Cuernavaca, Acapulco.
Denise
Fantastic.
Darcel,
Yes.
getting back, I saw you work in New York, all these wonderful cabarets you did. Wonderful
The
cabarets.
Waldorf Astoria.
You worked all these. You did a French act, a singing French act.
Half and half, not all in French, but I still have my nightclub act. Better.
You still do it?
But I got more experience. I developed a better voice. I don't know why. By vocalizing, by working, by singing. I do Maurice Chevalier with, you know,
oui.
Every little breeze seems to whisper Louise. It's always Louise. Why couldn't he whisper Denise? I do the whole show for you.
I
Be here
love
for 2 hours.
No, that's okay, darling.
I do Piaf. I do Marlene Dietrich with the legs in German.
Did you ever meet Edith Piaf when you were in Paris?
Oh.
Tell me.
I met her in Paris, but I met her in New York.
When
She used to cook.
Yes, tell me about her.
1,000 pieces of garlic, like I do, but more than I. When you come to her apartment, garlic.
Why garlic? Because garlic is so good for you, I know.
Garlic is the best you can have for yourself. To clean up your bloodstream and just give you energy. It's great. I cook with fresh garlic myself, but she stung the garlic. But when she sang, I cry. I cry and sob when she sang. She brought me back Paris.
I saw her last performance in Paris at the Bombino Theater with her Greek husband she was married to, that young Greek guy.
I forgot his name.
I can't, Sapako or something like that.
I forgot his name.
And he took a shirt off. He had a shirt off, and she was singing and touching his body, and she was tiny. She was very tiny. She had arthritis in her hands and all crippled.
She was the greatest.
She was the
She reminded
greatest.
me of Judy Garland, the same French Judy Garland, a great.
When she died in Paris, Paris stopped.
Oh, yeah. She was
Do
the
you
only
remember?
one. I've never heard of her like that. Unbelievable great. I love her. And she made me cry. She reminded me of my Paris.
What has Denise Darcel been doing all these years? I mean,
well, I want to show you. I have a son, 2 sons.
Ah, you have 2 sons.
25, 28, and a grandbaby 4-year-old. And I didn't know that I was an insane mother, paranoid mother. I'm a great mother. People say, Denise Darcel, I was always a little crazy, you know, flamboyant. Denise Darcel, a mother? Well, when I had my baby, the dog, goodbye cat.
So this is one of your sons, Greg.
Yes.
He's a young actor. Craig
Yes.
Darcel.
Craig Darcel.
How are you, Craig?
Oh, I'm fine.
Are you you're following your mother's footsteps?
I'm trying.
What are you doing now? You're studying here in Hollywood? Are you studying acting? With
At the
whom are
West
you?
Coast Theater. West Coast Ensemble Theater. I'm taking dialects training there with Ben Diabre.
And you speak French too?
Un petit peu. I do the dialect. I speak French the way that my mother, but I don't have to say anything but that.
He says he is a comic?
He's great.
Is he?
I'm telling you. I'm very critical because if my son was I would say, darling, I love you very much, but maybe you can get other jobs. He's a great actor.
Right.
Funny. Well, I saw him first. He was on the stage, the one I always rave about.
Barefoot in the Park.
Oh.
Barefoot in the Park.
Well, I want to see him.
This was
But
high school.
I didn't see him for a while on the stage. I thought he was funny, you know, in my nightclub. He used to steal my show.
So you used to bring him out?
Yeah, do John
That's how I
Wayne for
started
me.
it.
Do John Wayne for me. He was that small. Like that, he stole my show. Do John Wayne
I don't
for
do
me.
John Wayne.
Well, that's when he was 7 or 8
He
years
was that
old.
small.
Yeah.
He used to go on.
When I started, I remember the first impression I ever did was John Wayne. I was like, well, let me tell you something, you pilgrim.
You worked with John, didn't you? Did you work with John Wayne?
No, but I
Never?
met him. I met him a few times. And he held my hand. And he was so handsome. And he said, Jesus Christ. Excuse, I shouldn't say that. So he talks, you know.
Yeah.
If I wasn't married to my beautiful wife, I'd kidnap you. I said, kidnap me anyway. But he did.
Craig, what's your favorite movie of your mother's? You have a favorite of your
Probably
mother's?
Veracruz.
Veracruz?
Veracruz.
Why?
Just because it was such a fast-paced Western. It was just, you know.
Great
she
star.
was very vivacious.
Yes.
And Burt Lancaster and Gary Cooper. It was just a great.
Working with Gary Cooper, my favorite actor of all.
He was
Denise,
so divine.
slowly. I want to hear this.
But of course, I can be very slow too.
No,
if
Denise,
I have to.
Gary Cooper, tell
we
me.
used to have lunch, dinner. He ordered the wine in French. He was the same in the movies than he was. He was a gentleman of the world.
He was?
Oh yes. Burt Lancaster was more tough, you know, like. But Carey Cooper was so elegant. The wine. He had those beautiful blue eyes, and we used to go in a Cadillac, chauffeur, and go downtown, you know, for the thing. And he used to put his beautiful face on my knees, and I used to massage his forehead.
Well, isn't that special?
And you know what? He massaged my face too. The great sex symbol. We're in a car, he styled, I massaged, he fell asleep on my knees.
Wonderful.
Robert Taylor.
Robert
I used to
Taylor.
massage his neck on the because we were tired. We pushed the wagons all day, you know.
Forward Women.
Westwood.
Westwood.
Played last
Great.
weekend.
Was it a great movie?
Oh, yes, that was
Great.
great.
Who were some of the women in that film, Denise Darcel?
Hope Emerson.
Hope Emerson.
Um,
It was a great movie.
Marine Luskin. And there was a lot of wonderful. Julie Shoup. Julie
It's a
Shoup.
strong movie of women.
Yeah, I used to massage his neck. He used to fall asleep. I said, what's wrong with me? I got those gorgeous men. I can write a book. I can tell them I massage their neck and they fall asleep. Not even in bed, in a chair. So I'm a great sex symbol, but I'm very romantic. And I have to have a great romance. And I have to wait and I have to. Not to be a movie actor. Nice man.
Denise Darcel.
Yes, my darling.
I wanted to. You got away from Hollywood. You went to, you're a very spiritual lady. You got into commune. Tell me about...
No, it's not me.
Wasn't that?
Corinne Calvet.
Corinne?
Corinne Calvet.
Was
We
that?
did, we made...
No,
we
no,
did,
no.
Oh, no,
was,
no, I swear.
Was it?
It was in a commune. It's
Good.
not, I don't
Okay.
mind with that. There's only two of us left. The same name, D.
But
Darcel.
is she, okay, Denise
She was in
Darcel.
New York. She was in a
You're
commune.
spiritual?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to church and I pray a lot. Definitely.
You meditate? Do you?
Meditation is everything. I go in the morning, I get up by my pool. I have my roses. I have my coffee. And I stay there for a couple of hours. My girlfriend said, what do you do sitting down there looking at the roses and the blue sky? Because I love it. I hear the birds singing.
You're living.
The blue sky.
You're living in Vegas.
Yes, but it's very nice, Vegas.
Beautiful.
It could be country just as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
And you're living here.
I'm living here.
You're living here. What? You're working here? Just studying acting.
I'm studying acting. I've been semi-recurring at General Hospital. Yeah, it's been fun.
Are you enjoying that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. The cast, everybody is so wonderful, and I'm doing all the regular deliveries on the show, so it's kind of neat. I deliver everything: tuxedos, flowers, everything.
Do you sing? Do you sing, Craig, like your mother?
Well, I do a little Elvis Presley. It's real
okay.
good. Thank you very much. I'll sing a little bit of Elvis.
You play guitar, is that?
My legs start moving. I can't stop it. Like
He is funny. He is very funny, Denise. I see what you mean.
She's really. I've got everything from her. She is so funny, really. I could tell you some stories. There was one time I came home and I walked into the house and she says, "The ostriches are loose. The ostriches are loose."
Yes.
I said, "What? Where?" "I'm looking for big yellow birds in my house." Turned on the TV and the hostages were just released from Iran.
Hostages.
That was a few years ago.
Very funny.
You know, he's a French mother, you know.
You still speak with that accent. You've been in this country so many years, Denise Darcel.
Darling, Maurice Chevalier lost his accent. Did Charles Boyer lost his accent? Does the Gabor?
No, it's wonderful.
What about Jaja Gabor? My darling.
What do you think of Jaja Gabor, Denise Darcel?
The way
she's
very funny.
She's funny?
She's a great comedian.
Is she?
Oh, she's funny. She's a witty woman, ad-lib. She's funny. A little crazy. So am I.
I see.
We're in show business to be a little crazy. Not all of us.
What was your favorite man, leading man you worked with? Because you worked with so many great men in movies.
Ford.
Glenn Ford?
I stood him up. I stood up Glenn Ford.
You did? What? Tell me about that.
Well, after the movie was over, I was in a movie with him.
What movie was it?
Young Man with Ideas.
Young Man with Ideas.
I sang, and I was a witness for the prosecution. And he was after me flirting, and he was kissing. He always kissed me, you know. I get kissed, which I love this.
You love to be kissed in
but
films?
I get slapped always. I get slapped every time. I get slapped, kiss, and they kill me.
Did Charles Bronson slap you?
I'd
never do that to you. I thought you were sexy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very funny.
Yes.
Tell me about Glenn Ford now, getting back.
Oh, just at a date with him for lunch, and I didn't show up.
Where, at Frascati's?
I was very young, and I was worried. How do you know it's Frascati?
I knew because I saw you for Scotty's every afternoon there on Sunset on the Strip. Not in the one in Beverly Hills.
I met Clint Eastwood there once.
Clint Eastwood?
Yeah, I thought he would be a big star. He became a big star. Was he handsome? Was he nice? He's still handsome.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, darling.
Did you walk up to him or did he?
No, he walked up to me.
And
he said hello. I was with my friends. Oh, it was way back, yeah? It was way back. And it was very nice, Clint Eastwood. And coming back to my Craig there, that show he made, well, I saw him on that Barefoot in the Park.
Right. This was at high school.
It was so funny. It was so funny. I said, my God.
What about the play at the West Coast Theater? When I played the Cockney, hello, love. Bells of St. Mary and me out. You remember when I played Joey the Cockney?
I'm your best fan, my darling.
It was comedy. I was like kind of played like a bum, a Cockney bum, and I came in and I said, "Have you got a fag?"
You like to do comedy, Craig?
Comedy is my favorite.
Is it?
Because I think you're born with a timing. Just like, you know, and then you get that. I was born with it. You know,
do you think you got your mother's...
I think so. I think so. Her energy.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing I don't have is the accent, but I can fix that.
I was never tired.
Yes.
I was never tired before. When I had him, and he wore me out.
And when I was young, I was in such awe of her, you know, because she'd tell me the stories about Clint Eastwood and all these huge people in the business, and I was just in awe, you know, because I do the impressions. I'm like,
he's got a baby 4-year-old with more energy than both of us put together.
Oh, so you're a grandmother. How wonderful. What makes Denise Darcel such great energy? Keeps yourself
Let me tell
moving?
you, people ask me all the time, and I don't take anything. As a matter of fact, I think that I breathe deeply. I always breathe. People forget to breathe.
They don't know how to breathe.
No, you have to breathe. Keep it in and breathe. Relax.
Right.
But I don't take aspirin, sleeping pill, diet pill, nothing. Ever I take a pill.
Never?
Never. If I have a headache, I massage my neck, I breathe, I go like this, it goes away. I had arthritis, I was paralyzed.
Were you really?
That's right. I was paralyzed like this because somebody massaged me, cracked me the wrong way, and I thought I died. And you know what? I cured it myself. First, I took some Feldin because I was in agonies of pain. I could not move. I did 2 shows. I was in the Four Queens afternoon. I was in Tonapa on the weekend, and I was crippled. Then I took 1 pill, and I felt better. Then I quit the pills. Nothing. I never take anything. That's why I have so much
forget about my neck massages. What were those? Chopped liver?
Every day, once a year. Once a year.
Denise Darcel, has Hollywood, looking back over your career in Hollywood, looking over Hollywood, you were just at Hollywood Roosevelt, I saw you there at an opening, looking down Hollywood Boulevard. It's changed a lot for you. I mean, you came here in the early 50s, or was it 50s? Early 50s?
Early 50s.
50s.
Yes.
It was great. It was great. Hollywood was truly Hollywood. I was here.
I used to go out dressed up at night with the dress and
Macambo, Ciro's,
oh,
La Trocadero.
Yeah, where is it? I'm looking for it.
Where's some of the favorite places you liked when you were in Hollywood?
What I forgot? Chasen, Ciro's, Mocambo. I remember Steve Crane. What was it? Le Lowe?
Of course, Lana Turner's.
Lana Turner's
husband.
Yes.
Tell me about those people going out every night. They didn't go out every night. Like
no, you can't. You have to get up at 5 in the morning. You go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock.
Right.
And with me, with my English, when I work, I have to be very rested, so I speak slowly.
Yes.
And you can't go on in a movie. Say, what did you say? So, you know, I slow down when I work.
Yes. Did you have to, at MGM Studios, when you were there under contract, go to school? They put you at...
Learn to fence, learn to horseback riding,
Stop.
learn to
They
shoot the
teach
gun.
you every little thing,
Fantastic.
right? They
the only thing, they didn't put me in the glamorous part. I never had a part. In my nightclub, I had the sequin dress like Marilyn Monroe, Marlene Dietrich. I had the blonde, the fur, the diamonds, the sled in my legs. People tell me, do you have legs? I said, I hope so. I was not enough. I have no, they say, you have legs. That was a silly thing to say, because I never show my legs. Always my décolleté, always my décolleté, because I was a little plump. Okay, fine, wonderful, I don't complain. That made me famous a little bit. But they never put me in a nightclub with a glamorous gown. I was a contessa with a big skirt.
I remember, yes.
Cowgirl pushing the wagon.
Why do you think so, Denise Darcel? Why do you think they did that in Hollywood?
Because I don't know why. Maybe I had the wrong management. I had the wrong everything. I had the wrong manager, the wrong, you know, a lot of, because I could have been, I sing, I have a beautiful nightclub
You're a
act.
wonderful act.
I never had a nightclub act scene, really, in a movie. Never. That's what I'm sorry. Everybody say, "What in the world aren't you in a movie, singing, dancing with the legs, you know?"
It's time to make one.
Well, it's never too late.
How
Even at my age.
about your son and you together doing a club act?
We done it.
Huh?
I
Have
used
you
to put him
done
in
it?
Well, when he was a little baby, I put him in my stage.
What would you think about doing
I'd love to do it. I'd
Thinking
love to do
about
it
it,
because
we'll
I have such great material. You know, I mean, I have pages of material that's just so cute. You know, just the French, you know, actress, entertainer raising, you know, a young boy in America, you know, as a youth, and it's just it's so much fun.
Where did you go to school? Here in
I
California?
went to school in Las Vegas.
Vegas. So you grew up actually in Vegas a lot.
Right.
That's great there.
Yeah,
it?
it's really exciting. Very exciting.
Did you? When you're living in Vegas, you don't go to clubs though.
No,
do you? You're very home.
Sometimes I stay home 2 weeks at a time. I cut my roses, I watch TV, I do things around the house, I cook dinner, we have friends coming over, we dine outside in the beautiful moonlight, the pool. I get in shape. I'm going back to get in shape. I'm going back to show business. My way.
Absolutely marvelous, darling. I love you. Skippy, I love you, darling. Crazy go nuts. Always wanted to say that sitting here, darling. I love you.
He does good dialects.
Oh, the little young man with exercise was so funny.
Richard Simmons, let's go. Work it. You're going to be fat and disgusting. Come on. You call those jeans, what are they, eat to fit? Let's go.
Richard Simmons of Hollywood, yeah.
He's funny.
Denise, tell me more about the theater in Long Beach. It was great fun, Denise. You had a great time.
You know who's got me
Juliet
the part?
Prowse.
You know Marvin Page.
Marvin Page.
He called me to go there. I go there. I flew the same day and I had it. He's a wonderful friend. He's a
Marvin is a wonderful man. He helps everybody in this town.
Star.
He's no longer with General Hospital, is he?
No, he's got. He had to do other things, bigger things. I mean,
bigger.
It was big, but different.
He was there a long time too. He's probably, you know.
He's got the most unbelievable archives of old movies, old pictures of MGM. He's got thousands and thousands of pictures. You can't ever see all his archives. He's a fantastic man. But anyway, the Follies.
Yes, getting back with the Follies with Dorothy Lamour and Yuma Sumac.
One of the nicest theater I played Broadway. You know, with Tony Randall, Au Capitaine.
You were no Capitaine. I saw that.
Susan Johnson,
it was great.
and
It was
Dorothy
a
Lamour.
great show.
Great.
You were wonderful in that.
Would
you like to go back to Broadway, Denise?
Oh, I love it. It's my thing.
I want to go.
Yeah. You have no time?
Looking back
Am I
over,
talking too much?
Looking back over your life.
Yes.
Just looking back over your life, Denise. Yeah. No, sit back. Do you have any regrets?
No.
Do you?
No.
Huh?
No, I have no regret.
Would you do it? What would you do? How would you make it different?
Well, I would like to be a little bit, work a little harder to keep my career instead of staying home, cooking and take care of my boys.
Is that what you've done? Yeah.
I've stayed a lot. I stayed home a lot because, no, I would never regret that. I would never regret that, but I could have been a little more pushy. After they were raised, after they were 20, so I can't leave two teenagers.
Yes.
Tough.
So you were really a mother.
I
You
was
were
a mother
really
for 20
a mother.
years. Oh, yes. I forgot. I left
You mean after they turned 20? I'm
Yeah.
20 now.
25.
So Denise Darcel, the sexy bombshell from Paris, that's the image on the screen,
I'm a good
really
cook.
is a real mother.
Well, tell you,
A
you're the
real
one I
mother.
can't.
She was a good mother.
Very, the
talk about
best.
me.
The best. Understanding, warm, would do anything for us. And, you know,
They are my life.
You know, practically raised us without a father, because my father died at, you know, I was a young
And
young
you took
boy.
care of them all your life. That's wonderful,
Everything.
Denise.
I had to quit. I was working, but I could not travel too much anymore.
Right.
I turned down marvelous jobs, so I could stay home with the baby.
With the children.
Take care of my baby.
I'm still the baby.
Oh, of course.
The baby.
Of
My
course.
baby. Gosh.
So Denise Darcel has no really regrets then. You don't have regrets.
No,
Not
because
really.
I did what I wanted
You had
to
a good
do.
time. You have had a good time, haven't you?
You know, I didn't marry anybody I didn't like. Some women live with men they hate all their lives. They make love, they have to drink a bottle of vodka to make love. They hate their husband, they hate their... I've never... I was with somebody I love, or I was alone. And I waited for the right one to come along. It came along. And I think that's why I'm so joie de vivre, because I love life, but I never did something I didn't want to do. I was free spirit. It's harder if you have a boyfriend who keep you, you know, and pay for your rent and everything, and take care of put your children to college, like a lot of women I know do. They married rich men. Then I regret that maybe I should have been a little more unselfish and marry somebody very influential, when I wasn't working, so I can put them to better college. But that's the only thing I regret that.
And you could have, because every man was at your footsteps at that time.
I turned down so many fantastic men. I even love them.
Why?
But
Why?
Craig,
It's never too
Craig,
late. I'm
kidding.
you had a good life, Craig.
I had a great life.
And may I
A
say
lot of
something?
love.
A lot of love.
In
I
fact,
like that.
it makes,
I like that.
if I reach the success that I want to, it makes reaching that success that more sweeter. Having, you know,
but
not
it's,
had, the yachts and, the private plane and the maids and everything that,
I married a man and he didn't like the children. He liked my other one. He didn't like him. And he said, Mother, I hate him. Well, I said, I would never want to have somebody, my son, live with a man who can't stand it. It's not fair because my father and my mother all my life like this. And I left him and I had a house, everything.
Were you the only child, Denise, or you had other children from your family? How many sisters?
Five.
You had 5?
4 sisters. 5 sisters and 1 brother. 7 children. My mother was wonderful.
Are you the only one in show business? Who got in show business?
My sister passed away 3 years ago. She was a great singer.
She was.
And I love her so much. She took care of my children a lot. She was always there when I needed her too.
Did you ever see Lena Renault in Vegas when she was working?
I for quite a
Lena
while.
Renault.
Yes,
I used to
once
see her
in a
at the
while.
Casino de Paris, and I just
she's
loved her.
great.
I thought you always remind me of her a little.
Well, we're French and we have the accent and we have...
Lena Renault. She's wonderful. Did you ever see her when you were at Craig? No. What does Craig Darcel aiming for? Not just an actor, but what would you like to do?
Well, if not just an actor, I'd like to be a good father, because I have my son just part-time. I have, it's joint custody, but I don't have, the time I'd like to spend with him that I would like.
So you keep yourself busy then, along with acting and working and
those things. But I'd like to, right now my mom is on the upswing with this show, this fabulous
new show. What is this?
I'd like to help her if I could, in any way that I could. Be your gopher. I'll run around, run your errands, do whatever you need.
What's happening with this show, Disney?
The only thing is that so many stars in it.
Yes.
It's too big to go on the road. And
Yes.
maybe a huge theater here or there.
Right.
It's such a beautiful show, such a fantastic dancer, great singers. It is such a shame, but they can't afford, nobody can afford a show like this.
Why did they put so many stars in this show?
Because
like Julia Prowse and Denise Darcel, Yuma Sumac, Dorothy Lamour,
Unbelievable.
Shani
Karen
Wallace.
Moore, Shani Wallace.
There are so many. How come so many?
They spend a fortune.
Did they
Everybody
really?
had beautiful hotel suite.
Tell me about opening night. I must know. Opening night.
Burt Reynolds.
Good turnout?
It's been
Hollywood turnout.
It was sold out for 2 weeks.
Ronald Reagan came.
Yes, wasn't he?
Uh-huh.
Wasn't I?
Go
I
ahead.
should say.
Show off. Steal my show again.
I'm
That's okay.
sorry, but I always loved you, and we never did a movie.
Did you ever meet Ronald Reagan, Denise Darcel?
I used to have lunch with him. I called him Ronnie. And I never knew that I would know the president of America.